When talking to firms about how to implement artificial intelligence, and in particular how to optimize your use of AI, one of the key questions that always comes back is, how do I ensure the accuracy of my responses? How do I make sure that I'm using AI in the best way to get the best results back for both myself and for my clients? And when you look into this question, one of the key answers that comes back time and time again is the importance of context. And what we're going to do in today's video is talk a little bit more about context, why it is so important, and why it's so important particularly for the law profession, and how firms can leverage it for the best possible results. So first of all, what is context? Within the world of AI, context refers to the supplementary information that frames a query, enabling a large language model to generate more informed responses. Now, this context can take many forms. Often we can see it in terms of prior conversations within a chat history. So what you would ask the LLM 1 or 2 times previously is remembered, and that helps to give a better response, so you don't have to give so much information back in a new response because the LLM has your prior conversations as the context. However, it can be much more than conversation history. There are user-specific details, firm-specific details, domain knowledge, and even external data sources that can be used to enhance the context used within your query, so that LLMs can interpret ambiguities and tailor outputs according to how you want it and what's right for you. Now, within law, this context might include jurisdiction-specific statutes or firms' historical precedents in contracts, etc., what is acceptable, what is not acceptable, and all of these things help turn a vague request into something which is much more targeted and much more useful. Without proper context, LLMs risk producing generic, inaccurate, or irrelevant answers that rely solely on patterns from their training data for their response. Sufficient context mitigates this by reducing the incidence of fabricated facts or hallucinations, and ensures much greater relevance. And this is particularly important within the area of law. So to illustrate this, it's worth considering some recent studies by OpenAI and Anthropic, so 2 of the largest producers of LLMs, that show that well-curated context boosts response quality by up to 20 to 40%, allowing models to deliver nuanced, user-aligned results that save time and enhance decision-making. Indeed, when you look at some of the academic research in this area, it's very, very interesting. So there's also another paper from researchers at Stanford and Google, which indicate that increasing context length improves performance on tasks like question and answers or summarization, with accuracy rising up to about 15% on long-form data sets as compared with those without the sufficient context. However, there is an element of caution that's required here, because overly long or overly complex context can have the opposite effect and dilute focus, overwhelming the model and degrading overall output quality. So what's key here is that quality of context matters much more than quantity. And if you want to optimize your use of AI within law, one size fits all is not the answer. Instead, we need to ensure that the context that we give is correct, is enough, and is focused, but at the same time is not too much. So how do we do that? Well, there's a number of things that you can do, and at Dupla we have a number of solutions that can sit across your existing document storage platforms, and offer advanced retrieval capabilities that allows you to enhance your prompts or your messages that are sent to large language models, so that the context that I talked about earlier on in terms of past precedents, what is acceptable, what is not acceptable, is included within those prompts. Therefore, the LLM understands exactly what you need. It also understands what is acceptable, what is not acceptable, so that that context can be used in order to help ensure that the response is exactly where you want it, or rather you can optimize how you want it. And it's by focusing context that law firms are able to radically improve their efficiency whilst also upholding accuracy and relevance as well. In an area where AI is already reshaping law and has reshaped law dramatically, particularly over the last 12 months, embracing context isn't just optional, but rather it's the key to unlocking the true potential of AI within the law profession. Thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video.